on the first point, on how it pushes militarisation. It does this in three key ways. Number one, it boosts the armaments industry, a very strong armaments industry in the EU. It boosts it by saying, and I quote, that member states shall undertake to progressively increase military capabilities. I apologise, I left my quotes, but I know that one. In a situation where there's cutbacks in public services, in health, in education, hospitals are being closed, teachers are being sacked, they say they should undertake to progressively improve military, not health, not education, but military capabilities. And I think that's a wrong priority. Secondly, it incorporates for the first one. Go ahead.
I'd just like to say that over the last 5 years we spent a lot of money bringing our military up to scratch, and we're not actually going to have to spend any more money after Lisbon because we're already at Lisbon level of militarisation.
No, because it says progressively increase, not keep, but increase military capabilities, so that's incorrect. But anyway, secondly, in terms of, the second point is it incorporates the armaments industry right into the heart of the EU. It incorporates the lobby group for the armaments industry, the European Defence Association, into the heart of the EU, actually giving it a policy-making role, or a role in policy-making. And I think that is totally incorrect. And thirdly, it removes the right of member states to have a foreign policy that differs to the EU majority. It does that by saying member states shall support the Union's external and security policy actively and unreservedly. 15 of the 27 EU member states have at one stage or another had troops in the war in Iraq. I think that having a situation where if the majority, the EU policy, the EU votes and that the agreed foreign policy by qualified majority vote is to support such a war, that I think that would be dangerous in a situation where Ireland would not be allowed to morally or politically oppose that and argue against it. I'm not saying our troops would be sent, but we would have to morally and politically and in our foreign policy and our foreign embassies support that, and I think that is wrong.
This poster says 20 million unemployed EU policies don't work, but it doesn't tell us which EU policies don't work. Does it mean the free market doesn't work? Does it mean that the cap, which protects our small farmer, doesn't work? Also, 20 million unemployed in a union which has a population of 500 million is rather a good figure, and not a necessarily high figure. Also, EU policies couldn't have prevented the recession and can't control the international financial crisis. This poster is asserting and scaremongering.
I'll start by looking at what you brought up about the European Defence Agency, because I actually did look into this today, thank God. And one of the things that I noticed about it is what the European Defence Agency is proposing is that it can bring an element of transparency and accountability into the armaments industry within Europe in the first place. Because there's already a lot of duplicity about it, because there's interests of national security when you're dealing with large armed companies. You don't necessarily want people to know what your arms deals are going to be. What this is proposing is that there will be a coordination of purchases within the EU for the countries who are arming their military. There will also be a coordination of the research and development that they're going to put into play. This will mean that we've got to face facts. Militaries are going to be developing. People are going to be keeping an eye on their military. We want to ensure that they're not going to be duplicating research. There's not going to be funds wasted all over the place here. So what we're proposing is that the EU is going to be somewhat coordinated in the way that it's organising itself. It's also proposing that the communication systems they're using and the ammunition systems they're using are going to be, to some element, coordinated within each other. Another element I liked of it is that it's going to be coordinating with the EU maritime agencies, and they're going to be going out of the way to provide services such as, for example, stopping drugs that are coming in through Irish waters. I don't see why anyone would think this is a bad thing. No thanks, Keith. So, coming out of this, one thing I identified when I was examining this is that what you've got is what I like to call the Irish hang-ups charter. That's the way I phrase it. These are a few things that were the problem last time, and we need to examine, are they the problem this time? No thanks, Keith. Because when we were polled, because our European relations were nice enough to ask us after we voted no, well, what was it you didn't like about it? They didn't get on our face, they asked us quite nicely. And 3 reasons came up, and in my opinion it was 4. Abortion and social policy came into play. The idea of conscription in the European army. The idea of us losing our commissioner. And the 4th reason, the reason that wasn't mentioned but has come up tonight thankfully, was sheer bloody laziness. The Irish electorate were too ignorant to let themselves know what was going on, but also they were misled. No thank you. So, if you examine these on all 4 policies, first of all, no thanks there. The idea of abortion isn't going to be affected by the treaty. We've had this in place since the Maastricht Treaty was voted in. No thanks for us. It has been stated in EU policy for the last 18 years, and it is still there. We were granted a legal guarantee. We were granted a guarantee that's been addendum onto the treaty, despite the fact that we don't need one. Simply because we keep such a fuss over it. The only people who can change the view on abortion in Ireland is the Oireachtas. EU cannot supersede us in this. As Keane thankfully mentioned there, because I was hoping it wouldn't come up on that side, I was hoping it wouldn't be phased away. There is no element of a European army. Irish people are not going to be conscripted, and we're not going to be forced to go into play in countries in wars we don't want to be. And it's funny that that came up sometimes on the north side, even though it hasn't come up that side tonight that way. Because it's funny, for Ireland to send troops somewhere, we need a UN mandate, which means basically we get our authority from the White House, Downing Street, the Elysee Palace, the Kremlin, and the office of the President of the People's Republic of China. So they're the people who grant us some bit of authority to send our troops somewhere. So it has come up on the north side during the campaign, though, that there's an element of us granting an element of our autonomy away regarding where our troops are placed. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's already coming from somewhere else, a certain element anyway.
Okay, this poster says that your children will be chipped. This is a lie. Your children will not be chipped. There is absolutely nothing in the Lisbon Treaty that says your children will be chipped. And anybody who wants to chip your child will not be entertained by the European Union. Your child is not a dog to be chipped. Your child is not a dog to be chipped and tracked. This is a lie. The EU will not chip your children.